What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you who don't know, my name is Chris Moore, and unfortunately we are getting close to winter time. Yeah, that's right, guys. Almost time to not necessarily put the bikes away, but tear the bikes apart. We are going to get into in today's video talking about what kind of upgrades you need to do to build yourself a fast roll race bike or a fast drag bike. A lot of you may not know how easy it can be. We're gonna get into all that stuff right now. We've got projects going on in the shop everywhere. I just got my 22 Hayabusa all back together. I've got my 21 GSXR all taken apart, and I just talked to the guys at Suzuki yesterday, and I ordered myself a 2022 GSXR 1000. We are gonna make that into a fun project bike for the channel. It is gonna be something like you've never seen before. Stay with us, guys. Also, the winner of the 2022 Hayabusa, yeah, he's here. Let's go meet him. Guys, here we are. There he is, Carl. You saw it on the giveaway as Erica. Erica, that don't look like Erica to me, but Erica actually bought him the winning t-shirt, which he picked out in person here at the shop. He said he got in on the last giveaway with the GSXR 1000, and he made it down to the last 30. For those of you who've watched those before, we take 30 sub winners, then we put the 30 sub winners in the box. We pull one last chip. He made it down to the last 30. He's like, you know what, I feel like I got it this time. Erica said, if you want it, it's gonna be your Christmas present. So boom, there it is, 2022 Hayabusa. What do you think about this thing? How did it turn out?
Love it, fantastic.
Yeah, the whole bike turned out super good. This thing will be super fun on the street, whether he's gonna ride it every day or take it to track. You gonna take it to track?
Oh, I'm definitely gonna take it to the track.
Definitely gotta take it to the track. We're gonna put that Dunlop Drag Max to good use. He said he lives in Tallahassee, Florida. He races at SGMP?
SGMP in Gainesville.
SGMP in Gainesville. So maybe if you guys are out and about in that area, you will be able to go see Carl on his t-shirt winning Hayabusa.
It's crazy, man. It's just crazy.
How many times have you won something like this, Eric?
Never.
Somebody's gotta win, guys. You never know. This was a 1 in 300 chance. You got how many spots you get?
One t-shirt. One t-shirt.
One spot. Brought home the bike. There we go, boys. All right, guys, it's a new day here in South Cackalack. The sun is shining and Carl is smiling. Got his new Busa all loaded up, ready to go, about to head back to the sunshine state of Florida where he can go and enjoy this thing. Fits super nice in the back of his truck. Carl, what do you think? Worked out pretty good, right?
Can't believe it. One t-shirt. I mean, what do you... How could you complain about that?
Definitely got a dream bike all for 150. All right, guys, Carl's about to hit the road. We're about to go back inside and get to work. All right, guys, so here we go with the plan for today's video. We're gonna take and show you 3 Hayabusas of different levels, I guess you would say. We've got a bone stock one. We've got a street strip / modified everyday street bike, and then we've got a full-blown race bike, and we're going to talk about some of the things and modifications you need to do to make your bike faster. All right, so as you can see, we've got our bone stock 2022 Hayabusa, and then over here we've got our / my 2022 Hayabusa that I have set up in 100% street strip configuration. I've done quite a few things to this bike. We're gonna go over those things. I've made myself a little checklist here, and I've got approximately how much this stuff costs. So for those of you who are watching this video, you're gonna learn what modifications to do to your bike. You're also gonna learn approximately what this stuff costs. Let's go over the list. First up, we've got a full exhaust system. So on my bike, I have chose a Brock's Performance Titanium full exhaust system. Now with some bikes, it is good enough to do a cat delete and a slip-on. Some bikes have titanium headers from the factory. Some bikes have a steel header or an aluminum header. Basically, it's not as good. They don't have aluminum headers. I said that wrong. They got stainless steel headers or just a mild steel header that can be extremely heavy, and they have catalytic converters in the header. When you do a full exhaust or a slip-on slash cat delete, it lets the engine breathe better, and on top of that, it takes off a lot of weight. You can see with the Hayabusa here, you can see how big, for one, these exhausts are, but then you can see we got the catalytic converter in here, and the header is just very big and heavy. For instance, on this particular Busa, you lose over 40 pounds of weight by doing an exhaust system. Next thing, now that we've got our engine breathing better with exhaust, we got to let a little more air in, which is going to increase our performance as well. That's where we need a aftermarket air filter. That's under the gas tank. Pretty simple to install. You can do all that stuff yourself, and it's not that expensive. That's going to run you anywhere from $100 to $250 for a high performance race air filter. Now, we forgot to talk about exhaust system pricing. The pricing on an exhaust system is going to run you anywhere from let's just say $1,000 up, $1,000 to $2,000 for a price of an exhaust system. An exhaust system in titanium configuration is much more expensive than an exhaust in stainless steel configuration. But if you go with a polished stainless steel pipe, you can get stuff for around $1,000, maybe even a smidge under. Then when you go to titanium, the price almost doubles, shoots up a pretty good bit. You can get a slip-on exhaust system, which is going to be from basically here back. Sometimes you can pick those up for $300 to $600, depending on what material they're made out of. Another thing, while you're inside the airbox, that you can do that's a pretty cheap, inexpensive modification, is you can do aftermarket velocity stacks. Some bikes, you can even change the velocity stacks from the factory style to the factory style out of another bike. For instance, if you have a Gen 2 Hayabusa, you can take those factory velocity stacks and replace them with the factory outside velocity stacks of a GSX-R 1000 07 model. You get all those for around 80 bucks, super inexpensive, and it's going to give you about 4 horsepower on top end. Now, sometimes with changing velocity stacks, you may lose a couple horsepower in the mid-range, but gain a couple horsepower on the top end. So you really want to set those velocity stacks up and change them for how you are riding your motorcycle. The next thing that you could do after that, which is probably going to be one of your more important things, is going to be a ECU Flash and or dyno tune. Now, if you're just riding on the street and you just want your bike to run good, have unlocked potential horsepower, and ride smooth, lower fan temps, cooler operating temps, ECU Flash is the way to go. It's really cheap, it's really inexpensive. On a lot of bikes, the ECU is simply under the front seat. You'll take the front seat off, possibly even the back seat, and it's right there. Some bikes, it's up under the gas tank, usually right in this area, like on top of the airbox. And then certain bikes, like say for instance a Yamaha, has the ECU over here on the side. You remove one of the little side panels, that comes off, and that is gonna make the bike, basically the ECU, what I'm getting at, I should have said, the ECU is super easy to remove, and it makes a big difference. Now, if you are drag racing, or let's just say competitively racing with your friends, and you're trying to get lap times, you're trying to beat your buddy, you're trying to be an extra 5 horsepower, that's where you want to bring the bike in and have the bike dyno tuned. Dyno tuning it could gain you a potential 5 or 10 horsepower. Who knows? It just depends on how old your bike is and how many miles it has, how much wear and tear it has. Now, on a brand new bike, if you have a brand new bike and you have modifications similar to what we have, then you're probably not going to gain a whole lot from an ECU Flash to a dyno tune. An ECU Flash is going to run you anywhere from $200 to $600 for a dyno tune, maybe more. That's what I charge. Other people could be charging other things. The next thing that is important that really helps a lot and makes a big difference is in our gear shifting. This particular Hayabusa here is outfitted with a quick shifter from the factory. Depending on the age of your bike may not have a quick shifter. In order to add a quick shifter, it's not that expensive. They range anywhere from $250 to $500 depending on what kind you do. Another thing that you could do in the shifting department is potentially an air shifter. An air shifter is going to work all by pushing the button, typically the horn button. We have those set up on a lot of our race bikes, and you literally will push the button. An air shifter will only shift approximately 5 to 10 times on one air tank refill, I guess you would say. On this particular bike, we can run the air tank right here. It's built into our extended swing arm. We'll get into that in a minute, but I don't have to have a separate tank with this particular bike. Now, I could put a separate tank if I didn't have an extended swing arm in the tail section, but that takes up storage space and it's extra weight. An air shifter is going to run you anywhere from $600, well, parts wise, basically you could have anywhere from $200 to $500 in it. Plus your labor costs. Labor costs can be pretty expensive on an air shifter because it is a lot of work to wire them all up, as to where a quick shifter is much easier, much more of a plug and play operation. We're going to take a commercial break. We'll be right back in a second. We're back. Next thing you're going to want to do, and this is all based on the style of riding you're doing or the goal you have with how fast you want to go, is extend the wheelbase of your bike. So you can see there, that is an extended Hayabusa. This is a stock wheelbase Hayabusa. So I'll stand back here at the back. You can kind of see with the factory tail light and the factory tire versus the tire and the factory tail light on this bike. So this bike is extended approximately 5 or 6 inches. That seems to be about the happy spot for good traction on the street. And it'll still maybe wheelie just a smidge, okay? Stock wheelbase, if you nail it, if your bike got good power, it's gonna wanna wheelie a lot, to where if you extend it, bring it back a little bit, it's gonna be just right. If you extend it too far, the bike is gonna wanna spin. If you lose traction, you can't win the race, to where if you wheelie a little bit, me personally, I ain't gonna lose the race, I like that. But if you don't want wheelies, it's easily manageable. You can control it so much easier. You can do something as simple and as cheap as bolt-on extensions for your bike. Those only cost you approximately $300, as to where a full swing arm could cost $1,200 to $1,500, somewhere around in there. You can get an evil swing arm a little cheaper, around $700, I think. But a lot of that stuff is based out of the type of material, again, just like the exhaust pipes. A G-Force Racing and a DME swing arm is made out of all aluminum. Some swing arms are made out of chromoly steel. Those are the little skinny ones. Even though they look really small, they're made out of a heavier material, and they weigh about the same thing as the thicker aluminum swing arm. Next thing, this is a really cheap modification that everybody should do, no matter what, because these is cheap and they make a gigantic difference. You can see here we've got a Vortex Racing aluminum sprocket. And you can't see our front sprocket, but it's up in here. It makes a really big difference as well. The front sprocket is as cheap as $25. The back sprocket's anywhere from $55 for a steel one to $75 for an aluminum one. And man, do they really make a big difference. Common modification for an average street bike: go down 1 on the front, go up 2 on the back. If you are stock wheelbase, meaning not extended any, you may want to actually go smaller on the rear, which is going to take power away from first gear in order to make the bike not wheelie. That's going to give you more top end speed. Next thing, while we're in the area of the sprockets, let's talk about the wheels and tires. Wheels and tires are very important, but inside the wheels is even more important. That is the wheel bearings. You can do ceramic wheel bearings in these bikes. It makes it roll much easier, and when you do those bearings, you wouldn't believe how much rolling resistance you free up. By rolling resistance, we mean that it's easier to push the bike by hand, so it's easier to push the bike with the engine. And here is an example of a bike with ceramic wheel bearings. Look at that, guys. That thing is super, super easy. Stand your bike up on the stand, roll it, see what the difference is. You will be amazed that your bike don't roll anywhere near that good. Ceramic wheel bearings can be a little on the pricey side. They're around $400 for the bearings, but you're not gonna wear them out. They're gonna have an average life of longer than the stock bearings. I would say easily 40-50,000 miles if taken care of to keep everything clean. But that's a very big deal. All right, so the next thing you can do, and this is really cheap, you can do a lot of this stuff yourself, but just look at your bike and look at how much extra stuff your bike has on it that you maybe don't need as a performance machine. So you see here we got mirrors, we got bar ends, we got these little things on the bottom of the foot pegs. Once we got rid of the dual exhaust and went to the full exhaust, we could get rid of the passenger side foot peg here. You see I got no bar ends, no mirrors. You can see you can really shed a lot of weight. Weight reduction is very important. You can also upgrade to a lithium ion battery. The stock battery in a Hayabusa is approximately 8.5 pounds. The lithium ion battery I have in this from Full Spectrum Performance is only like 3 pounds. So that's a difference of 5 pounds of weight right off the bat. And you say, oh, well, that's dumb. Those things only weigh 1 pound, 2 pounds. Well, next thing you know, if you do all those dumb things, your bike is 20 pounds lighter than your buddy's bike. 20 pounds is a big deal. All right, couple more small things that you can do in order to help your bike's overall performance and make it faster. Keep in mind that going faster doesn't always relate to more horsepower. There's a lot of things you can do to be faster, like weight reduction, that I guess you say improve aerodynamics and just improve the overall speed of your motorcycle. One is going to be a double bubble windshield. And what we mean by double bubble is you can see over here on our race bike how it humps up. Well, where it humps up, that makes it where you get under the windshield a little farther, and it is able for you to tuck better, giving you more aerodynamics and more overall top speed. That is very important, and it's cheap. You're looking at maybe $75 to $100 for a double bubble windshield, and those things make a great deal. I'm just waiting on a company to come out with a double bubble windshield for my Gen 3. You can see a Busa, they kind of got a little hump, but like I said, if we could get it a little taller like Big Country's bike over there, it would definitely help us out. One more thing that we kind of forgot to mention earlier, whenever you're changing out the exhaust system, a lot of times it is a good idea to remove the radiator, or a lot of times you have to remove the radiator to bolt on a full system. The next thing you could do when you take your antifreeze out is put engine ice antifreeze back in. That stuff makes a huge difference. It makes the bike run much, much cooler and helps with overall performance of the bike. That stuff is only about 50 bucks. All right, guys, that is gonna do it for today's video. This is part 1 of how to make your motorcycle fast 101. We're gonna get into class 102 in the next video, and that is gonna be specifically favored towards race bikes. In other words, what would you do to your, I guess you would say, Hayabusa that's a street strip bike now? In this configuration, how would you convert it over to being more track oriented? What are some of the first parts you can buy to make it more of just a race bike to go faster at the track? All right, guys, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this video. Click the bell for notifications so as soon as we post that part 2, you will be in on that. Smash that like button. Check us out, mooremafia.com. If you have more questions for yourself, you can contact us there. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.